Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 1 where we will be covering expressions, equations, and functions. First we are going to start off with words meaning addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I want you to take a minute, pause the video just for 30 seconds and see how many words that you can come up with that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Thank you. Now let's see if you matched any of these words. So with addition you have add, sum, plus, increase, more than. Subtraction. Subtract, decrease, difference, less than, minus. Multiplication. Multiply, product, times, division, divide, quotient. I want to point out that the sum is to addition as difference is to subtraction, or that product is to multiplication as quotient is to division. Quotient, product, difference, and sum are all math type terms, all terms that mathematicians use. Next are special words. Words such as twice, that means 2 times a number, squared, that means x squared, or that you would have 2 squared, which would be 2 times 2, which is 4, or cubed. Again, if it was 2 cubed, it would be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, or to the power of. Anything that would go in this box is a power. So this could be a 4 in the box, a 5 in the box, a 6, a 7. I'll put a 7 in the box. Half, 1/2 times the number, so it could be 1/2 x or 1/2 q, any of your favorite number. So let's hop into an example. A number decreased by 10. Well, we don't know what number it is, so we just have to pick a number in general. What represents a number in general? Any letter, a variable that would represent a number, so I'm just going to make it C. And then decrease by 10. What does decrease mean? To me, decrease means minus, and then what is it decrease by? 10. Next example. 3 more than 5 times a number. So we have to think first here. 3 more than what? Okay, well then we go on to 5 times a number. What does 5 times a number mean? This means 5 times a number means 5, and then times from the previous slide means multiply, so I'm just going to go 5x. Next, what does 3 more than mean? 3 more than means, well, just plus 3. So this verbal expression is written as 5x plus 3. Next, we are going to evaluate some expressions. We're going to start off with 2 to the 4th power. 2 to the 4th power can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Notice that we have 4 2's. You multiply all that out, and it's 16. Next, 5 to the 3rd, or 5 cubed, would be 5 times 5 times 5. You multiply that all out with your calculator, and it's 125. Next, how would we evaluate this expression? Well, how many d's do we have? We have 1d, 2d's, 3d's, 4, and 5d's. So that would be d to the 5th. Next, everybody's favorite order of operations. Order of operations follows as parentheses, and then even more parentheses if there is, or you might even see some parentheses that are square parentheses that look like that are square bracketed. Next order of operation is exponents, then multiplication and division. That's from left to right. Multiplication and division happen at the same time, left to right, just as you read, and addition and subtraction also happen as you read left to right. A little device that we can use, if I can make it show up, is PEMDAS. PEMDAS means parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Right? This would be an acronym for the order of operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. PEMDAS. Well, let's try a couple. Look at number 4. First thing that we have, do we have any parentheses? Yes, we have some parentheses, so let's take care of those parentheses. So we have 3, and then 9 minus 5 is 4. So we have 3 times 4 squared divided by 8. Well, what's our next order of operation? Let's use PEMDAS. We use parentheses. How about exponents? Do we have an exponent? Yes, we do. It is 4 to the second. So now we have 3, and then 4 to the second is 16 divided by 8. Next step we go to is multiplication and division. Well, remember that is from left to right. What comes first? That is the multiplication that comes first. 3 times 16 is 48 divided by 8, and then we just finish it off. 48 divided by 8 is 6, so our final answer is 6. Let's jump to number 5. First thing we have to do we have any parentheses? Now this is a parenthesis, yes, but what does it mean? It means multiplication. There's only 2 numbers there, so let's first start with the exponents. So 6 squared is 36, and then I'm just going to keep it minus 4 times 3 divided by 2. Now what is next? We have multiplication before division, so it's 36 minus 12 divided by 2. Now we have to be very careful here. Everybody wants to subtract this 12, but we can't subtract that 12. We are not done with multiplication and division steps, so we have to divide first. We have to divide 12 by 2, so it's going to be a minus 6. Bring down the 36, and so 36 minus 6 is 30. Next, we are evaluating expressions. What this all means is that we have to put 8 in for A, 4 in for B, both B's, and then 16 in for C. So let's try it first. I'm going to start with B here, and so I go 2 times, and then we see a B. Well, what is B? It's 4. Then I'm going to close that up, plus 3 times, and what goes in for C? What goes in for this C? This 16. So I put in 16 in for C. I close up my parenthesis. I square it. And that goes all over top of 4. Now what goes in for this A? What is A from above? It is 8. So it's 4 and then 8. Close it up. I'm going to square it. Minus 2 times, what is B again? B is 4. There. Now we entered everything into our expression. Now we just have to follow PEMDAS, or the order of operations, to finish this up. So next, I'm going to do a couple steps at the same time. Let's see if you can follow along this. Since this addition sign is in the middle, I'm going to multiply this out first. So I have 8 plus, and now I'm going to do this exponent here. So we have 3, and then in red, I'm going to show you that 16 to the square is 256, and that goes over. We have 4 times 8 squared, so 4 times 8 squared. Again, I'm going to put that in red. 8 squared is 64, and close that up, minus 8. We keep going from here. I'm going to move back down, so 8 plus, and then 3 times 256 is 768. That goes over. 4 times 64 is 256 minus 8. Now, a couple more steps. Add the top and we subtract the bottom. So on top we have 776 over 248. Now I want to see all these steps that I just showed. I need to see this step and this step, what you're plugging in for what. And then I want to see your work and how you work out these order of operations. Right? These are a little bit tougher order of operations. Then we get down here, when you want to simplify this fraction, just go ahead and plug it into your calculator. We get 97 over 31. Now, the distributive property. How the distributive property works, if there's a number in front or in back of the parentheses, all right, of these parentheses, we have to multiply it to each number in the parentheses. All right, this number is in front of the parentheses, we have to multiply it to each number inside the parentheses. So 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to bring down my plus sign. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we just add these together. So it is 42 for our expression. 8. Again, this 4 has to be multiplied to everything inside the parentheses. So I bring it here. Now there's a 2 in front of the n. So remember that we multiply the numbers in front of our variable. So it's 8n minus, we also have to multiply it to the second number. We cannot forget, we have to multiply it to both numbers inside the parentheses. So it's minus 20. Now, can we simplify this? Is it already simplified? Yes, it is. So that is our final answer. One more for the distributive property. Now we have a negative 4. Be very careful. We have to take that negative along with the 4, take it times 3. So negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Again, we have to take that negative along with the 4 and take it to the t. What is the t? We have a negative t. So negative 4 times a negative t is positive 4t, because multiplying two negatives make a positive. We cannot simplify anything. So that is our final answer. And next we are going to end with some properties of numbers. They're already on your note sheet, but I do want you to pay attention to see what they are. The reflexive property, that's just saying if 5 equals 5, then 5 will always equal 5, and 4 plus 7 on the other side is still 4 plus 7 or 7 plus 4. The symmetric property, if you have 8 equals 6 plus 2, then 2 plus 6 equals 8. Transitive property, if it's saying if one thing equals another thing, and that another thing equals something, then what you started with first has to equal that last thing that you have. Substitution property, if n equals 11 and you plug in 11 for n, it's the same thing as 4 times 11. Here are some cool properties down here though, if you think about them. The additive identity. Think of what identity means. Identity means you're yourself. You're always going to be yourself, right? So what do you add to a number that always keeps it the same? Well, 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. It stays the same. 0 plus 2 is 2. It stays the same. Additive inverse. It's just the opposite. What makes it go to 0? What can you add to a number that makes it go to 0? Well, 3, you would add the opposite of 3. So you would add negative 3. Or if you have 4, you would add the opposite of 4 or subtract 4 to make it 0. Multiplicative identity is the same exact thing. What can you multiply to a number to keep it the same? That's going to be 1. 14 times 1 is 1. 14 times 1 is always 14. 1 times 14 is still 14. And multiplicative property of 0, 9 times 0 is 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. And let's see if we have one more guy down here. The multiplicative inverse is when you flip your fractions, it's going to go back to 1, right? Just want to make sure you're paying attention and change it to 1. All right, and that does it for chapter 1. Hope you enjoyed.